All right, so moving on to the next segment. I'll be sharing my UFC 297 co-main event fight between Mayra Bueno Sliva and Raquel Pennington. So this will be the co-main event of UFC 297. This women's matchup will be the co-main event of UFC 297, like I just touched up on, between Mayra Bueno Sliva and Raquel Pennington. This fight will be, both women will be fighting for the vacant bantamweight title in this women's division. Amanda Nunes was the former bantamweight champion. She vacated her title when she retired in the summer of 2023. A new champion will be crowned in the co-main event of UFC 297 in the bantamweight division. So these are my storylines heading into this fight. You have Mayra Sliva, who is riding a 3-fight winning streak in the UFC. She was last in the octagon against Holly Holm during the summertime, but the fight was ruled off due to a no contest, that fight being stopped early in the second round of that fight. So that fight was ruled a no contest, but Mayra Sliva is ready to become the new bantamweight champion in the UFC women's division? Time will tell in the co-main event of UFC 297. And then you look at Raquel Pennington. Raquel Pennington is 35 years of age, and she's done a great job in her UFC journey thus far. But Raquel Pennington has one thing she has yet to accomplish, and that's being a world champion in the bantamweight division, or any division in the women's divisions, and her UFC journey thus far. She's riding a 5-fight winning streak. Can she finally become a world champion in the UFC? We will find out in the co-main event of UFC 297. So this is my tail of tape heading to the fight. Mayra Bueno Sliva, she has 10 victories, 2 losses, and 1 draw to her resume. She has 1 knockout victory. She has 7 submission victories. She stands at 5'6" and has a reach advantage of 66 inches. Then you look at Raquel Pennington. Raquel Pennington currently has 15 wins and 9 losses to her resume. She has 1 knockout victory and has 4 submission victories. She stands at 5'7" and has a reach advantage of 67 inches. So the height and reach advantage slightly goes to Raquel Pennington over Mayra Sliva. But these are my game plans for both fighters if they plan on walking out of Toronto, Canada, the new bantamweight champion in the women's division in the UFC. These are the following game plans that I have these women to follow. So starting off with Raquel Pennington. I think it's best for Raquel Pennington to stay patient, deliver on opportunities when they present themselves. And why I say this, why Raquel Pennington really needs to be patient in this fight against Mayra Sliva. Mayra Sliva is a dangerous striker. Mayra Sliva is a dangerous striker, which leads to Raquel Pennington, which really leans to Raquel Pennington not affording to have any mistakes against Mayra Sliva. Because if you look back at the fight that she had years ago, back in 2018 against Amanda Nunes, what is Amanda Nunes known for best? She's one of the best strikers in MMA history. Damn sure is the best striker in the women's division in MMA history. She had problems against Amanda Nunes, who was a dangerous striker. And that led to her losing against Amanda Nunes back in 2018. She cannot afford to make mistakes. She has to be patient and deliver when the opportunity presents itself, because if she doesn't, it could be a short night in the office, as she could be on a receiving end of a vicious knockout. So she has to be patient. And I think it's best for Raquel Pennington to take down Mayra Sliva. If you want to take away a striker that is best standing up on their feet and delivering haymakers, take them down. Take them down on the mat, take them down, and shoot. I think Raquel Pennington should shoot for a lot of takedowns. Handicap Mayra Sliva of her best attributes, which is in the striking department. So those are my game plans for Raquel Pennington for this fight. And then my game plan for Mayra Sliva. Striking. I just said Raquel Pennington's kryptonite showed that she does not do well against great strikers. That fight in 2018 showed it when she fought Amanda Nunes. And I hope her and her team really studied that fight that Raquel Pennington had against Amanda Nunes back then, because if you follow that game plan, as dangerous of a striker that Mayra Sliva is, she has a really good chance of walking out of Toronto, Canada, the new bantamweight champion in the women's division. So I think with her, the striking being her bread and butter, I think that's a great game plan for her to follow. And she has to be unpredictable. She's a great overall fighter. I keep saying she's a great striker, but she's a great grappler as well. She has it all. I think she's a good overall fighter. The striking ability and the grappling ability can make Raquel Pennington very uncomfortable for a total of 5 championship rounds. I think Mayra Silva has what it takes, if she does what she's supposed to pull off the victory against Raquel Pennington. So with that being said, I'm going to go with Mayra Bueno Sliva to win this fight by knockout to become the new bantamweight champion in the women's division. I have her defeating Raquel Pennington in the co-main event of UFC 297. I do believe that Mayra Silva will knock out Raquel Pennington. Could be a similar way of how Amanda Nunes finished off Raquel Pennington by knockout back in 2018, as I just been preaching on this segment. Raquel Pennington does not do well against strikers. Mayra Bueno Sliva's bread and butter is in the striking department. I do believe that Mayra Silva does have all the tools necessary to beat Raquel Pennington. She has the striking ability. She has the great grappling skills. I do believe that she can make Raquel Pennington very uncomfortable for, if needed, for a total of 5 championship rounds. And I do believe that Raquel Pennington's past of her not being able to deliver on the big-time fights, on the big-time platforms, this will be her downfall. And I do believe she's going to come up short against Mayra Silva. You look at her fight against Amanda Nunes back in 2018 when she got her first title opportunity, her only title opportunity in her UFC journey. She lost. She lost her other 2 big fights against Holly Holm. She lost those fights. So I am really leaning towards Mayra Silva to get the job done and become the new bantamweight champion of the UFC and the women's division. But those are my that's my fight prediction on the co-main event of UFC 297 between Mayra Silva and Raquel Pennington.